Good morning, my fellow public transportation operators. Welcome to another episode of Richard Drives Home from the South Yard. What I wanted to talk about tonight is the bylaws. So I want to keep this brief. I don't want to make it complicated. I want to make things very simple for all of you to understand. Is that our bylaws are a contract between the members of our union and the officers being all the executive board members who are voted into office, and all of the officers who are voted into office. They serve under a contract called the bylaws. The bylaws demand a democratic system. The bylaws are governed by federal law. The bylaws are governed by the National Labor Relations Board and the Office of Labor Management Standards, and the bylaws have to be constructed, and they have to be maintained, and they have to be abided by according to federal law, and it's a legally binding contract in the state of Arizona. And it says how much our officers are allowed to pay themselves. It says how much or what kind of benefits they're allowed to have and what rules govern those benefits. I'm talking about the health insurance that we pay for them. I'm talking about the 401k that they're putting money into for their retirement. I'm talking about their wages that they pay themselves are all governed by the bylaws. And in order to change the bylaws, they have to change them through a democratic system that is covered by federal regulations according to the Union Member Bill of Rights. And also the International Constitution, more importantly, supplements the law. So it's important to know that the state and federal laws that govern and state legislation and the Arizona Constitution supplement the federal regulations, and the NLRB has addressed that the state can supplement our rights, which is called the right to work laws, which give people the right to work in unionized spaces, because anything other than that would be workplace discrimination. So right to work laws supplement the NLRDA, the Disclosure Act, which is your Bill of Rights. So it goes the federal law, it goes state law that supplements the federal law, and whenever there's any state supplementations, it's always addressed. And I have backing documents showing that right to work laws are addressed by the federal government and are granted the ability to supplement it. So, and then after the state supplementing your rights, then the international union can supplement those rights. And when I say supplement, I mean it's like when you go sign up for your insurance for Blue Cross Blue Shield, right? You do it through TransDev's portal that they provide to you. Log in, they email it to you. You log in, you sign up for your health insurance, and then you got those people who come into the dispatch office and then they offer you more insurance. That's supplemental insurance. It's added on to your current insurance. So the state law cannot contradict the federal law, because if it does, then the federal law takes precedence. Okay, and then the international constitution, the supplemental laws given to us by the international union are a supplement of federal law and state law, right? So you have state supplementation, you have international constitution supplementing and regulating within the bounds of your rights according to the federal and state, and then it's the bylaws. So the bylaws is the last supplementation. So this is very important to know, because this plays a direct role and it affects our members directly on a day-to-day basis, whether they realize it or not. So you have rights under federal law, you have rights under the state law, you have rights under the international constitution, you have rights in our own bylaws. And I can tell you that our officers are obligated to abide by all of it. Because if they don't, we can sue them. So, but here's the thing about the way things work, is that when you want to file a lawsuit, you have to follow the regulations down to the T on how to do it, because there's something called a public suit and there's something called a private suit, and the federal government, the state government, they will not pursue anything that's governed under private suit. So you may have all of these rights, but a lot of them are required as a private suit. And this is how a lot of administrative scams that our officers are, for lack of a better word, administering, they go unchallenged because nobody has money to sue them. It costs money to sue them, and then you got to hold them up in court for years, probably, and then so the best way to go about it is to go to a public suit. So you want to get something on them that you can take, that the federal government or the state government, which would be the Attorney General, Christy Mays, or the Office of Labor Management Standards, you want to grab something that's defined as prosecutable under public suit. And then once you got them on that, then you're able to go and follow the rules for what's required for you to get it to their desk. Once it's at their desk, and then you say, here, I checked off all these boxes, this is covered under a public suit for you to go ahead and use public funding, taxpayer money, to sue them. What they don't really call it suing them, they call it filing a complaint with the court. And once they file the complaint with the court will then look at it, and then they'll start the proceedings and all of that, and so that's what I'm trying to do. But I have to get it through the process of going through the grievance process. I gotta check all my boxes, get all my ducks in a row, and then once I'm able to check off all those boxes and get all my ducks in a row, I'm gonna go ahead and drop it at their office, and then see what they want to do with it. But the reason I'm telling you guys all of this is because it's important that even though we're all struggling and we're all we're all struggling to make ends meet because of their incompetence, because they don't want to lift a finger for you. Instead, they would rather just garnish our wages and call it a fucking day. Then, you know, we have to know at least the basics going into this, because I want you all to understand why I'm doing what I'm doing, and what the process is, and all of that good stuff. So I encourage everybody to look into this stuff if you can, but if you can't, that's fine. I'm just doing the best I can to explain it to you, and I really wish, I really wish you guys a good day. I have to go. I will see y'all later. Bye.